Hello and welcome back to Bunnex Investment Group. In this video, we are going to talk about a 1-minute Forex scalping strategy. So this strategy, if applied correctly, can actually give someone beautiful rewards. But before we jump into the whole video, you may as well check out our free Telegram channel. The link is right in the description box below. On that note, let's actually jump into the content. So here are a few instructions for this particular strategy. Each and every strategy has its instructions that you need to follow for you to actually reap results. So like any other strategy that I share on this channel, you need to first backtest and see if it is truly conducive for your personality. So the first thing on the instruction side is the time frame of analysis is going to be 1 minute. Then number 2, the trend is set with a 50-200 EMA crossover. That means we are going to need 2 EMAs which are 50 and 200 exponential moving averages applied to close. The next instruction is an M or W on the 200 EMA region is the entry trigger. That means we need to see an M or W on the 200 EMA region for us to get into the trade. Then the reward to risk ratio may be set to 1.5:1. With that, we mean the reward is going to be 1.5 in ratio as to 1 part of the risk side. Then the last one, of course, let's have chart examples to actually fully understand this particular strategy. So this is New Zealand dollar against USD. That is the one that we are going to use, and I've already marked the points to save us more time. In this case, we can see that we had a 50-200 EMA crossover on this M1 time frame. Here, the 50 is the one in light blue, the 200 in gray. Don't mind the other EMAs. And after that crossover, we had a market flow. After that market gave us a flow, we can see we had the first M at this point that we actually could take. So it was going to be a short position, right, like that, stop loss above structure, and double or 1.5 on the take profit side. So that was our first trade after this crossover. We can see that we also had another M after the trend was set with this particular crossover. So after that, we can see that on the second leg, stop loss above the structure and take profit around 1.5 to 2, right? So it will be better to work off with 1.5 since we are saying it's scalping. 2 pips on the stop loss side or 3 pips depending on your broker. Some brokers actually do not allow scalping, so you need to check with your broker regulations. In this case, we had another 250-200 EMA crossover, and we had first leg, second leg on the 200 EMA. In this case, it was a long position. So candle closure above the 13 EMA may simplify an entry point, and if you do not like that, you just need a candlestick reversal pattern on the second leg. And after that, we had another 50-200 EMA crossover. After that, this was now a short position, right? So imagine we are actually bagging profit in all these particular trades. The only disadvantage with scalping is that it will require you to stay on the charts for quite a long period of time, right? Then here we had a 50-200 EMA crossover. Unfortunately, the market gave us one leg. That is where your discipline is now tested with the market. If you get into that trade or that kind of trade that is not following your rules, know that you have actually violated your future discipline. When anything that looks like this comes in the future, you will see yourself jumping into that particular trade. So it's better off to stick to your rules and skip anything that doesn't fall in your trading criteria. Here we had a 50-200 EMA crossover, right? After that, we had this flow from this point going down. We have to check if we were going to actually have a good reward to risk ratio in that case. So it was yes, 1.5 was going to be hit at that particular trade. Then we had another 50-200 EMA cross, but unfortunately it was actually a one-legged pattern, which is outside our trading criteria. Then we had here we had a 50-200 EMA crossover, but within this flow there was no setup, and immediately the market gave us a 50-200 EMA crossover here, and we had a big fat W, like first leg and second leg, and we could actually earn our profit on that scalp trade. So scalping is something that can give you a lot of profit in such a small period of time, but as I've said, it will require you to actually have more screen time than any other trading style. So it means you need to actually be in front of your charts, probably for hours, for you to actually get proper setups of the scalp trades, because you're actually working on a time frame that has a lot of noise. So in this case we had another crossover, but later we had another crossover. So if such case occurs on the markets, it should hint you that we might have a consolidation, and anything that will come later, you should take it with caution. So unfortunately there were no proper setups within that zone, right, until we had this upward move of the market. And when we saw that the market is now trending, that is when we started to look for possible entry points. In this case, a W was issued, which was a long setup. It was actually a long position that was valid, right, like that. Then as we went again into the future, we can see a 50-200 EMA crossover, and the market shot down very violently, and we got a beautiful pattern which was somehow perfect in that case. So we're going to short with higher probability of success like that. Then unfortunately I couldn't continue, because right now we are almost at the end of the chart. At this point, this is where the chart is right now, and during the time of recording the market is closed. So we had a beautiful W pattern on the 200 EMA after the crossover. So basically that is what you'll be looking for when you are scalping. You need to have at least two pairs to focus on if you decide to use this pair. And if you do so, you need to stick to the rules, you need to stick to the parameters for you to see success within your trading. On that note, we come to the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and share with someone who may love this particular strategy. See you on the next one.